All right, here's the problem. Problem number one, AIDS. Have you heard of it? It's pretty cringe. So basically, in the 1980s, AIDS got invented by the CIA. No, probably not. It just sort of happened, all right? And it spread. It's really bad. It kills you. It makes all your shit die, all right? Now, here's the problem, okay? AIDS is caused by HIV. And HIV is spread through what? Chat? Chat. It's blood. All right? Now, here's the thing, okay? Conservatives and evangelicals especially are always looking for excuses to reinforce their belief that the very fabric of the universe is morally opposed to the existence of people they consider degenerates, you know? Do you guys remember? Do you guys remember how a little bit after George Floyd got murdered, there was a lightning strike on a mural that was done of him? Yeah, this right here. Just a wacky freak of nature incident. Lightning happens. What are you gonna do? You know, big old kablam. It's like the brick wasn't properly affixed, so it just kind of got smacked and fell apart, you know. Now, this is, you know, a mildly unfortunate incident to a normal person, but to an evangelical, this is evidence that God himself opposes the idolatry of the criminal and fentanyl kingpin, George Floyd. I know that sounds like a joke, but like literally, right? Do you guys remember how conservatives were talking about this? Like after the lightning strike? Like they were gloating about it. It wasn't just like, oh, this is funny. It was like, yeah, of course. Because God doesn't approve of this, you know? They do this all the time. Whenever there's like a natural disaster in a liberal city or whatever, you know, this trend has repeated. And the AIDS crisis, perfect example of this. So HIV, okay, spreads. At first, by the way, we had no idea how HIV spreads, okay? But eventually, it came to be known HIV spreads through blood. That's pretty much it, you know. There's like a 1 in, I don't know, 1 in a million. I mean, if you're like making out with somebody, you know, overwhelmingly, it's blood and sperm. Blood and yeah. Okay. Overwhelmingly, blood and sperm. Not so much through making out. You can't high five a person with AIDS and get AIDS unless they've got an open hand sore and you've got an open hand sore. In which case, don't high five people. Don't high five people. You gotta be in with somebody for this to spread. Now, the most likely vector for infection is blood. Semen, less likely. You know, everything else, incredibly unlikely. Unimaginably unlikely. It's not gonna happen. So what type of sex involves blood contact the most? Well, see, here's the thing. When you're deep-dicking someone in their asshole, this can cause, not always, but sometimes, you know, it can cause micro tears. Now, micro tears sound very spooky. But in reality, micro tears happen all the time when you take big shits. And it happens when you work out. You know, when you work out your muscles, you get a little micro tears in the muscle fibers. And when they build back up, that's how you get big muscles. That's how that works. Yeah, that's how that works. It's true. Yeah. Anyway, as a consequence of anal sex being the most likely transmitter of HIV, it spread through the gay community like wildfire. There's a whole generation of out gay people from the 80s who just died. You know, there are art pieces and articles and movies on that, you know, where there's just a missing generation of gay people, you know, because of how this spread. Now, obviously, it was the prerogative of the Reagan administration and the Christian right to, A, frame this as a gay disease. And that's exactly what they did, by the way, you know? They wanted AIDS to be seen as a divine punishment for sin, because that's exactly how they thought of it. So the Reagan administration prevented the CDC from doing any research into AIDS. Just flat out, the Reagan administration policy on AIDS was do not talk about it. You know, thousands and thousands of Americans are dying. Just don't mention it. I mean, you think Trump with COVID was bad. Trump was talking about COVID before we had, like, any American deaths. You know, Reagan stiff-lipped this through 5 6-digit death counts. You know, just complete silence prevented research from being done into it. You know, gay people are out here, I don't know, burning sage and inhaling the fumes to kill the AIDS, whatever. They didn't have access to much proper, medical equipment. Yeah, because it was seen as a punishment for being gay. Now, the reason why this is so significant, apart from the fact that a U.S. president willfully enabled, effectively, a genocide against a minority population within his own borders, I mean, that's significant enough on its own. I think that on its own is fairly significant, you know? It indicates, this is, again, one of the reasons I don't like mysticism or spirituality. It gives them a pretext by which they can justify their divine opposition to degeneracy, to gay people, you know? Because the idea of a gay disease on its own doesn't work, right? Like, there is no biological process by which a disease could only target homosexuals. There's no distinguishing thing about a disease that would make that work. You can have traits about the way in which a disease spreads that might selectively affect some populations disproportionately, but that's not hardly a divine punishment, right? When God had the firstborn son of every Egyptian killed as Moses fled the Pharaoh, that was very targeted. Firstborn son, yeah, didn't miss. No daughters, no secondborns. Very direct. AIDS, however, as a matter of fact, can kill anyone. And it wasn't until, who was the straight guy? Was it the basketball player who got AIDS? And after that, people started taking it seriously. What was his name? Magic Johnson. Yeah. Because Magic Johnson, I mean, this guy, star athlete, 18 feet tall, big dick, whatever, getting laid all over the place, got AIDS. What are you going to do? And once he came out with that, people started taking it a bit more seriously. That's quite a name. I'm sure it's not his birth name. Princess Diana was another big reason people started taking it seriously. Yeah, Princess Diana was British royalty. Before she died, she touched hands with a person dying of AIDS in a hospital without a glove on, right? No, she didn't get HIV. There was a patient that she touched hands with, like in a gesture of sympathy, like a Mother Teresa type shit. That does a lot to raise sympathy, by the way, The idea of, like, royalty, I mean, like, being willing, Freddie Mercury, high-profile cases. So, the reason I'm going over all this, oh, no, yeah, people were terrified of AIDS. And one of the reasons that people were so terrified of AIDS, the CDC wasn't allowed to do research on it. The administration wasn't talking about it. So, in the absence of any government-provided information, people are going to jump to conclusions when it comes to the transmittability of AIDS. You're not getting any official info from the government, It's the whole, it was insane time. Honestly, there's just so much. I'm not even going to look at chat, because every time I look at chat, I get reminded of like 3 more wild things that happen. Just don't, you can look into it. There are documentaries, whatever. Why are we talking about this? Okay, so monkeypox. I've talked about this a little bit, but the basic issue is that time is a flat circle. So right now we are in an era of resurging antagonism towards queer people, and monkeypox is being framed as an STI that is like a gay thing, right? So I talked about this a little bit before, but we've already had a couple of prominent cases in the media. I mean, not like prominent in the sense of the importance of the people affected, where you have kids getting monkeypox, and people are like, well, where'd they get that monkeypox from, huh? And then people are looking at the daycare workers, people are looking at anyone around them who might be queer or whatever. Monkeypox can spread through touch. It can spread through clothing. I mean, you can like someone with monkeypox can like leave a shirt somewhere and you can poke the shirt. I mean, you can get it in contact. I mean, literally, like very, highly transmittable, wide variety. Monkeypox can spread through water. It's been detected in wastewater in Palo Alto, Santa Clara County, San Mateo County. You better hope that this shit don't carry in rats, because if it does, then it's going to get everywhere. And this is a serious disease. I mean, it's a kind of smallpox, right? The smallpox vaccine is somewhat effective against it. Yeah, I mean, it'll get everywhere. It gives you big sores. Let's picture up on screen. We can be like sex education in a Bible Belt state, you know? This is what's going to happen if you have sex, folks. Shows you all like the blue waffle picture or something. Yeah, it's like this, and then you get sores. It's real gross. Yeah, unlike COVID, which is pretty much like an internal thing, like, you can't tell a person has COVID by looking at them. You know, this can cause some physical effects. I've seen pictures of people's faces with those sores on them. That's not good. Leaving the house. Not a good idea. Bad. Very bad. Good news is, the smallpox vaccine, which is no longer mandatory for Americans, as I understand it. The smallpox vaccine is actually somewhat effective. Here's the dude with sores in his face. Don't open his Twitter. This guy posts porn. What a Chad. Oh, okay. This is a guy with sores on his face. I'd seen another guy. But yeah, here you go, folks. Not good. Really ruin your Instagram selfie vibe. They might leave marks forever. I don't know. Just use Photoshop? Yeah, I guess you can Facetune your way out of it. Not good. Not good at all. There are two kinds of smallpox vaccines, I think. One of them is a single shot, but it's bad for people with eczema, which I actually have, just very mild. They've come out with a new smallpox vaccine some time ago. It's 2 shots, and it's good for people with eczema. More effective, more new, you know, whatever. Now, because we live in a non-functioning country, we do not have, not only do we not have a population that's immunized against smallpox from the get-go, we also don't have enough smallpox vaccines to hand out. Which means, if you want to get a smallpox vaccine, you might have to go through some eligibility criteria, such as these. This is the Vax for New York City.newyorkcity.gov website. People who meet all of the following criteria are eligible to be vaccinated. Are a gay, bi, or other man who has sex with men and or transgender, gender nonconforming, or gender non-binary. Are age 18 or older and have had multiple or anonymous sex partners in the last 14 days. You have to meet all these, so if you're not getting laid in the past 2 weeks with multiple or anonymous sex partners, you know, I'm sure you Giga Chads will meet those criteria just fine, but not everyone can. The time vaccination is not recommended for those who have had a monkeypox infection. If you have had, or if you have monkeypox, you're not currently eligible, be vaccinated, blah, blah, blah. So here's the dealio. Right now, monkeypox is spreading more quickly through queer communities, you know, in big cities. And, you know, even if Vermin hadn't told me this guy posts porn, you can tell by this guy's phrenology that he does gay porn. You can, can't you? He's cute? Yeah, that's one of the reasons you can tell. Why? Because he's a Chad? I can't fix your gaydars. I can only tell you what mine say. If you want, I can look at the rest of his Twitter and find out. Silver Steel, share my story. 2022 Grabby winner for best group sex. DM for booking. I think he's having sex with men in these pictures. Yeah, I don't want to assume their gender or whatever, but yeah, I'd say so. Yep. As I understand it, there's a monkeypox-specific vaccine. If there is, it would be an alteration of the existing smallpox vaccine. I'm curious. The monkeypox thing only popped up recently. This has to be like a very quick alteration on the existing smallpox vaccine, right? Vaccine creations take a while. We do already have a template for that type of disease, vaccinations for it, but it's like a hot fix. Yeah, this is like a patch, you know? Monkeypox was discovered decades ago. Yeah, but that doesn't always mean that we have like a modern, like up to current standards vaccine for it. Our tech is always getting better with the vaccines. It's pretty crazy, actually. Whatever. This is tangential, okay? So you can get monkeypox from just kissing someone? Buddy, you can get monkeypox from talking to someone. They cough anywhere near you? Yeah. It'll get you. It can kill you. Not a joke. You can die from this. Be careful. Go to a clothing store, touch some cardigans, sweaters, get the monkeypox. disease, dead, 100% dead. Not really. Seriously, though, let's roll back on this. So, overwhelmingly, the people who have monkeypox right now are homosexuals. There are a couple of reasons for this. Even though monkeypox can spread through basically any means of contact, the easiest way to get it to spread is through prolonged intimate contact. Now, which group of people has the most sex with the most anonymous partners? It's the gays. It's the gays. It's not even close, frankly. It's the gays, and it's not even close. So look, this disease, at least for right now, it's going to disproportionately affect the gays. You understand? Maybe eventually it'll become ubiquitous enough, or it'll get drained into the groundwater and all the rats will carry it and blah blah, that it'll be a more ubiquitous thing. But right now, at least, it's something that's affecting the gays the most. Now, here's the problem. In this case, as far as I can tell, the fact that it's affecting the gays the most is almost entirely a product of A, coincidence, where the disease initially spreads, initial vectors, outbreak areas, and B, the fact that the gays get laid more than everyone else. Hardly a mark against them. They should be proud. But you know what the right-wing media is already doing, right? If a kid gets monkeypox, that must mean that a gay molested them. You know, imagine what's going to happen when you start having school children get monkeypox and they have queer teachers. You think Tucker Carlson ain't going to run with that one? They're going to see that as 100% guaranteed confirmation of sexual impropriety. Because the right-wing media is considering monkeypox exclusively an STI. It's not. It's factually, objectively not. It can spread through non-sexual contact. It can spread quite easily through non-sexual contact. There's no arguing that. It is a fact of the world. But yeah, here's a tweet from Marjorie Taylor Greene, one of the most powerful women in the country, unfortunately. 38,000 likes. This is just one example of a broader trend.
Seen now. We have seen now 2 cases that have occurred in children. Both of those children are traced back to individuals who come from the men who have sex with men community, the gay men community. And so when we have seen those cases in children, they have generally been what I call adjacent to the community most at risk.
So this is actually a rep from the CDC engaging in what might actually be some of the most irresponsible messaging imaginable. What she's saying is technically valid. If monkeypox is most prominent in the gay community, it makes sense that being proximate to gay people would increase your likelihood of getting monkeypox, whether you're a kid or not. But holy shit, you have to be either malicious or incredibly ignorant of the current media climate to not understand how this is going to be interpreted. If monkeypox is an STD, why are kids getting it? It's not an STD. This lady didn't say it was an STD. But, you know, conservatives don't need much to fill in the blanks. Here's our favorite Alex Papanadopoulos. Hey, what's up, my groomer? Hold on, comrade. It's problematic to use hard R words like that. Oh, sorry, and who's this handsome young man? My stepson. Don't mind his little frown. He caught monkeypox somehow. You see, you get it? I have to admit, this is pretty disappointing. I have no... Why would it open with them calling them a groomer? Isn't the groomer implied here? Like, the setup is in the context. I don't know why. It just seemed like he was rushing to the punchline. This doesn't make... This is lazy work, frankly. Lazy work. Yeah, it's kind of incoherent, to be honest. Just kind of incoherent. But you guys see where this is going, right? Right-wing media is going to use this as a reaffirmation of their groomer narrative with queer people. Not just trans people, but going back to the gay groomer narrative, way back to the 1980s. Bringing it right back to that. Every kid that gets monkeypox is going to be evidence of, grooming. If you have some, white, suburban, upper middle class kids that get monkeypox, their parents are going to storm into the local teachers' meetings and accuse everyone of molesting their kids, so on and so forth. It's going to be a whole goddamn thing. And do you know why they're doing this? Because they want to kill you, because they want you dead. That's it. There is literally no reason to do this outside of them wanting you dead. That is it. That's simply it. That's literally it. Again, I challenge you all to find better, more convincing explanations for their behavior than that. So another pandemic is about to start ravaging the country, and they are lying about its transmittability in an effort to frame the greatest victims of this pandemic as child molesters. What explanation is there for this outside of them wanting you dead? Absolutely none. That is it. That's literally it. That's the only thing there is. That's the only explanation. So just keep that in mind in case you ever, wondering what a good volume of ammunition to purchase in the near future is. Get your vaccines if you can. Monkeypox is no joke, despite its kind of goofy name. General idea, I am not a fan of stuff like this, because even though it's important to get the vaccinations out to the communities that will be affected by it most, it's kind of like a trade-off thing where you're trading immediate access to the vaccines in certain groups for the long-term optical cost of continued association with the gay community. It's a really, really, really difficult, Jesus. I was going to say terrible, difficult situation. It's really, really tough to know what the right way forward is. I don't really have any strong solutions, but it's happening. Monkeypox, cumulative confirmed cases. America and Spain are right here up at the top now. It's going to happen. It's already in the groundwater. If it can survive in the groundwater for any appreciable length of time, if it can host in the rats or the fleas or whatever, I mean, we're gonna have some problems. Yes, we are. Who knew Spain was queer too? Have you heard their accents? Does monkeypox leave scars like smallpox? I have to assume it does. A vaccine for monkeypox was approved in 2019 according to the WHO. Well, that's good to know. If we lived in a sane country, incidents like this would lead to the government seizure of pharmaceutical plants so that they could begin mass production of vaccines. If you ever want to really doomer pill yourself on the state of affairs here in the country, look into what the United States did with the war powers that it activated during World War II. Oh, we want to win a war? All right, well, we'll just do what makes sense and exercise central control over the means of production in order to maximize productive output towards a given end. But nope, not anymore. I'm not an epidemiologist, I'm not a pharma tech bro. I don't know the specifics on what it takes to mass produce vaccines. We never should have been taken off the smallpox vaccines to begin with. We should have stayed safe. But we can't, because it's the United States of America. This whole thing's going to happen again. No, there was an anti-vax movement back when smallpox was basically eradicated. It was prominent, too. I don't think it was quite as prominent as the modern one, though. UT Dallas is investigating a professor's homophobic tweet with misinformation about monkeypox. They should be fired. Queer students want the university to take action against the comp sci professor for his tweet. Of course it's comp sci. Which included misinformation about how the monkeypox virus spreads. Show me the tweet. Show me the tweet. Oh my god, show me the tweet. Why'd you say, of course, it's comp sci? Because computer science people suck. Not all of them, but a lot of them. As a liberal arts major, I have plenty of beef with the STEM majors in general, but computer science is one of the worst of them. You know why? Because computer science people are like so disproportionately weighted towards the libertarian tech bro shit. So weighted. Can we at least try to find a cure for homosexuality, especially among men? Homosexual men have anal sex, which can lead to a variety of diseases. New York City reveals 95% of monkeypox patients in the Big Apple are men. Yeah, I think they should be fired for this. Easily.